Hi, good evening to all of you. We are all set to start the discussion on some very important current and contemporary issues on which you may expect questions either in the prelims exam or in the main exam, and even when you go for the personality test, you may expect 2, 3, 5 minutes purposive conversation on any of these issues inside the UPSC boardroom. Okay. So, the first current issue which we are going to take up for discussion is very important, that is the Pegasus controversy, and we are going to discuss in full this controversy, but we will not be discussing the ongoing politics related with Pegasus, but we will be talking about the constitutional issues, the legal issues, the national security related issues, and what stand you have to take, and you also should have awareness about some basic thing about Pegasus and the laws which are there in India which empowers a state in the name of national security to go for interception, monitoring, or to some extent even surveillance of exchange of data or communication. Okay. So, we are all set to start the discussion on this very important Pegasus controversy. And this controversy, I would just like you to have this awareness that this controversy, if we see Pegasus, okay. So, this is the controversy which is about a spyware. What is Pegasus basically? It is a spyware. Okay. So, meaning software which is used for a spying purpose, okay. Or it is a malware. Why it is known as malware? Malicious software, okay. Malicious software, malware, okay. Why it is known as a spyware? Because this software, if is getting introduced to a device, it will be involved in spying, okay. So, spyware, malware, malicious software, and sometime even we are using the word stalkerware. Okay. And this software is developed by Israeli company NSO, Israeli firearms company NSO. Okay. So, this spyware or this malware or this stalker software, okay, or stalkerware, whatever word you may use, is designed and it has been developed, is being marketed by a very well known firm, Israeli firearm company, and that company is NSO, right, that company is NSO. And what actually this Pegasus will do, that it will it will infect device, it can infect devices, it can infect devices, and it can infect devices that are connected to internet, and you know very well that these days most of the people in the world, they are using internet through cell phone, they are using internet through cell phone, some of them are using internet through laptop and desktop and other devices. So, any device which is connected to internet can be targeted through this spyware. So, internet, but now what is surprising based on the ongoing discussion, that some of the experts are of the opinion that some updated version of this Pegasus can even affect or infect devices which are not connected to internet. So, earlier what was being said, that a link is sent to the device of the targeted victim, and for some reason if the victim will click on the link, then only this spyware will get installed in the device or will get introduced to the device or will get inducted to the device. But now some of the experts have said that Pegasus has the capability that even if the link has not been clicked by the receiver, then also it may get introduced to the device, then also it may get it may infect the device. So, that also is a possibility. So, it can infect device, normally the device which are connected to internet, but some experts have started saying that it is very much possible that even if the receiver has not clicked the link, then also this spyware can get introduced to the device, can infect the device, right, can infect the device. And what is that, after it infects the device, it transfer data, this software transfer data to master server, and of course, this transferring of data to master server is completely in an unauthorized manner. Okay. So, some of the experts are of the opinion that even through WhatsApp missed call, voice call, video call, that device can get infected through this software, and there are many other ways in which it can. There are many other ways in which it may infect the device. And what is that, once it infects the device, then what you will find that this app is actually disguise itself, and it disguise itself in the device as anti-theft app, applications. Because how the user may not know that the device got infected with that kind of spyware or that kind of malware or that kind of stalkerware. How user may not know? Because it is it is basically disguising itself like any anti-theft app. I hope you all must be aware that these days, let us say that you are using one cell phone, you can download one app, and in case your mobile phone is stolen, then the way it has been taken can be tracked and where it is can be tracked. So, for that purpose what we download in the device, anti-theft applications are downloaded, and anti-theft applications are not detected by antivirus softwares. Okay. So, this is the way in which this Pegasus operates, that after it infects the device, it will disguise itself like anti-theft application, making it very difficult for any antivirus software to detect that the device has already got infected with virus or already got infected with some malware. And continuously it will be transferring the data to the master server in an unauthorized manner. And what people are saying, that this Pegasus software can exploit, can exploit Android and iOS version, and all iOS versions. As well as Android. Okay. All iOS versions, including the latest iOS 14.6. Okay, 14.6. So, this can, this can infect all iOS versions, all Android versions, and when I am using the word iOS version, that even include the one of the recent most, that is iOS 14.6, even that version can be infected. Okay. And one thing what you need to know, right, one thing what you need to know about this Pegasus, that this is as per the claims of NSO, which is the Israeli firearm company, and it has developed this software to combat terrorism, because only through proper intelligence gathering the world can combat terrorism. And this is the reason why the company is claiming that, it sell this software only to, this company sell this software, this Pegasus is sold only to vetted foreign governments. Vetted governments. Okay. So, private entity from any country cannot get this software. This software, as per the policy of this NSO, which is Israeli firearm company, can only be sold, right, can only be sold to, vetted foreign governments. Okay, vetted foreign governments which are there. So, what I am just interested in telling you, that now this is what is Pegasus, and if you ask me, right, if you ask me the Pegasus, as far as this word Pegasus is concerned, this word Pegasus is used for a Greek mythological creature, that is winged divine horse, white color, right. So, horse with wing flying, and it is very divine. Okay. And this is what is the meaning of this word Pegasus. It has originated from Greek literature, and in Greek mythology Pegasus is used. I would like to show you. This is what you can see this. Okay. This is what is the winged divine, winged winged divine horse. Pegasus is used for winged divine horse. Okay. Now, in this whole episode, right, in this whole episode, you have to understand, okay, in this whole episode, you have to understand that recently, okay, recently what happened, that one media house, The Wire has exposed that this software has been used, for hacking the phone numbers of over 40 Indian journalists. Okay, this kind of report came, and thereafter series of report came in media, and this started way back, and now it is being said, right now it is being said that this device was used even for spying head of the governments of some countries, eminent journalists in different countries, social right activists, judges in courts, and opposition leaders in some democracies. That is what. So we will confine our discussion, and this list, if we see the 14 to 15 head of the states or the head of the government, that include the French president, Emmanuel Macron. It also includes Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan. It includes South African president, and the list is long. 14 to 15 head of the governments, their cell phone was under surveillance, is what the media exposure is saying. And in addition to that, wide range of, large number of journalists, 200 journalists worldwide, including 40 from India, and they are the journalists who are attached and affiliated with The Wire, The Hindu, The Hindustan Times, etc. And later on it was found, later on, if we go by the claims which are by the media, that the data which is on the server of this NSO, right, on the server of this NSO, that data is having phone numbers, right, phone numbers of some very important people from India. Okay, that includes, right, that includes former judges of Supreme Court, that includes election commissioners, some of the ministers who were not ministers earlier. Okay, that includes some of the opposition leaders. Okay, but most important, somewhere around 40 journalists from India, 40 journalists from India. Now, what exactly you have to know from this, that as far as NSO is concerned, okay, as far as NSO is concerned, this firm is concerned, NSO as a firm, officially it says that it has 60 clients, and these 60 clients are from 40 countries, right. These 60 clients are from 40 countries, and company has not disclosed the identity of clients, and nor has even, right, nor has even allowed entering in public domain the countries to which the client belong. Okay. So this is official stand, and this company is maintaining that all these things which are being reported in some section of media, that is to tarnish the image of this company, whereas this company is solely involved, right, completely involved in supporting the governments to combat terror through very effective electronic and digital surveillance over, over those within the country who are suspect and have, possible links with terror funding, possible links with terrorist organizations, or they are involved and engaged in anti-national activities or underground activities. This is what is the claim of the company. So you need to know that NSA official statement is it has 60 clients. These clients are from 40 different countries, but neither the name of clients nor the country to which they belong has been disclosed by the company as a part of its policy. It's maintaining, complete secrecy about the client, and has said that all these are the attempts and efforts to tarnish the image. Okay. Now, we are least interested in 200, right, journalists worldwide who have been targeted through this spyware, but definitely the 40 journalists out of 200 being from India is a cause of concern, right, is a cause of concern. And 13 head of the states, okay, thankfully अभी तक हमारा head of the state का नहीं है, and it is surprising, you need to understand that since it can be purchased by governments only as per the claim of NSO, so it means what? One government is trying to spy over the head of government of other country. That may be the possibility, because no government, right, no government will purchase the software and put the, use the software or use that spyware to, for spying its own head of the government for sure. So, sensical, you may understand that even if 13, 14, whatever may be the number, we don't know. It means that some of the countries are involved in electronic surveillance over the head of government of other countries, right, other countries. That is what is emerging out. Now, in this whole episode, if we go by, right, if we go by the wire, the media which for the first time brought in public domain, right, public domain, that this kind of thing is happening even for India, and some of the journalists and some opposition leaders, some judges, some key officials from such institutions which have autonomy and independence, and some social right activists, their phone has been put on electronic surveillance through unauthorized use of this spyware, by government. Now, this has given birth to a very surcharged political atmosphere, okay, surcharged political atmosphere, but we are more interested in knowing the constitutional issues related with it, okay, and I would just like you, I would just like you to know that अभी तक जो मीडिया एक्सपोजर है, एज पर मीडिया एक्सपोजर अराउंड 300 Indians, and this include 2 union ministers, okay, 2 union ministers, 3 opposition leaders, okay, scores of business persons, okay, then activists, journalists, okay, and even some, right, even some who hold, right, even some who hold very important post, right, very important post. For example, right, for example, I don't know whether you all are aware about the former Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi, and there was an allegation when he was in office of some sexual harassment, one of the female employee of the Supreme Court, accused then CGI of sexual harassment, and this media exposure is saying that if we see the database of that server of this Pegasus, okay, and the NSO, that says that 11 phone numbers were, right, 11 phone numbers were directly, indirectly associated with the female employee who accused CGI, of sexual harassment. And what is a cause of concern, that some are saying that these were done to impact the outcome of elections, formation of some government. So, we will not get into that, right, we will not get into that, but we will get into broader issues which are there. Okay. So, you should just have the awareness that what is Pegasus, what kind of spyware is it, what actually is happening through it, and as per the claim of the company, what's happening. And I would say that world politics is surcharged today with this, right, with this. Now, in India, okay, in India, I would just like you to know that till now, after this issue erupted, till now, the official stand of government of India, okay, is that no, in everything which is happening in the country is as per the rule of law. Okay, everything which is happening in the country is as per rule of law, meaning law is not being compromised. So, neither there is explicit rejection, nor there is explicit acceptance. Okay. And opposition is asking the government that government should come up with this. First thing what is required, whether, right, first thing what is required, whether India is also a client for this spyware or not. And second thing, if it is a client, how many, and let me put it like this, that this spyware is very, very costly. For one license, meaning one phone to be put under surveillance, it may put, since it is to be sold to the government, so the cost is to be beared by the government, it will put a heavy burden on the exchequer of the government. Okay. Heavy burden on the exchequer of the government. It is a very, very costly spyware. Huge cost is also there. So, in addition to many other ethical, constitutional, legal issues, even economic concerns are there. If government is, any government for that matter in the world, if he is purchasing this kind of costly spyware and then is using the spyware not to combat terrorism, but to combat political opponent, then there are lot many issues which are there. Okay. So, very correctly Johnson is saying that one package through which 10 phones can be put on surveillance is costing 3.6 crores. Yes. Okay. So, huge cost. I do not want to get into the details of this, okay, but huge cost is there. Okay. You need to understand the issue which is there. Prashant Pandey is questioning, if only government can access to software, then how come this software has 60 clients from 40 countries? It seems, Prashant, that you do not have clarity about the word government, okay, clarity about the word government in polity and constitution. Okay. What is government? Government is the set of individuals and the institution through which authority of the state is established. Okay. So, in India, let us say that one of the organization within the government which can go for it, let us say NIA, there can be another organization CBI. Okay. So, what I am just trying to say, government vetted foreign government which has been approved by government, government is taking the responsibility that yes, that is what is the meaning, and you should know in polity you must have studied, this is the very basic, within polity that government means what? Government is one of the essential element of a state. You must have studied that territory, population, government and sovereignty, four essential component of a state. And when we use this word government, it means individuals and institutions through whom authority of the state is established. Okay, so 60 clients are there from 40 countries and it only gives to government, okay, meaning organizations, institutions only with after the vetted by that key decision making body of that particular government. Anyway, okay, anyway, I am just not interested in getting into the politics, but let us look into. So, one is economic issues. Are you you got the idea, no? What is the economic issue? That any since it can only be procured by, it can only be purchased by government, and it's a very costly spyware, okay, and this spyware is basically being sold to government by the manufacturers and the developers to be used, right, to be used for combating terrorism. And instead of combating terrorism, if it is being used in any country of the world and particularly a democratic country in the world to combat political opponents or such section of people within the country who are critical of some of the government's decision, who are critical of some of the government's policy, then it is a matter of grave concern for sure. Okay. So, one is economic issues, but more important, I would just like you to have this awareness that as far as our country India is concerned, okay, you need to understand that in India, if we see surveillance laws, in India, if we see surveillance laws, okay. So, one very important is Indian Telegraph Act, Indian Telegraph Act, and within Indian Telegraph Act section 5(2), right, section 5(2). Okay. So, that is number one. Another, if you see, very important surveillance law is in IT Act, Information Technology Act, and within this Information Technology Act basically section 69, right, basically section 69. But in this regard, I would just like to say that we should also be aware about two very important judgments which were given by Honorable Supreme Court related to surveillance by a state, in the name of national security, and that judgment is a historic judgment of Honorable Supreme Court, and this Telegraph Act is of 1885. Telegraph Act is of 1885, and this IT Act is of 2000, which was amended in the year 2008 when it came to enforcement. Okay, came to enforcement. But related with the surveillance law in India, the most important, I would say, is the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court of India in two important cases. One is K.S. Puttaswamy, K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India, and this judgment was given by Supreme Court in the year 2017, right, in the year 2017. And even I would say to some extent, okay, to some extent, even Aadhaar case, okay, Aadhaar case. So, judgment which was given by Supreme Court, judgment which was given by Supreme Court, that also, right, that also to some extent is almost like a form of guidelines that to what extent a state has, right, to what extent a state has such kind of powers which are there. And when it comes to, right, when it comes to in the most important, that is Information Technology Act, right, Information Technology Act and IT Act. Within IT Act, I would just like you, within this Indian Telegraph Act, you should remember 419A rule, 419A, which is of the telegraph rules. So, under this act, rules were framed after independence. Telegraph rules 1951, 1951. Okay. Now, as far as this Telegraph Act is concerned, right, this Telegraph Act is concerned, what you need to understand that as per this Telegraph Act, I will tell you what is the verdict Shivani Agarwal is asking. I will tell you about all the three. Okay, then only you can understand everything related with this issue. Okay. So, now let me just tell you that as far as this Telegraph Act is concerned, this section 5.2, okay, this section 5.2 says government can intercept. It is giving power of interception to government. Government can intercept, what government can intercept? Message or class of messages, right, message or class of messages. Okay. When the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India or the security of the state or the friendly relations with foreign state or public order or preventing or for preventing incitement to commission of an offense. Okay. So, under Telegraph Act, right, under Telegraph Act, the government can intercept messages. They have the power to intercept messages or even the class of messages, right, even the class of messages, meaning series of messages, and the interception will be, right, interception will be only if it is required in the interest of sovereignty, integrity of country, security of the state, friendly relations with foreign state, public order, or preventing incitement to the commission of this offense. Okay, so you should remember in the class itself that section 5.2 Indian Telegraph Act empowers government for what it is empowering? Intercepting messages or class of messages. And this can be done, right? This can be done, for what? If it is in interest, of sovereignty of the country, integrity of the country, security of the state, okay, friendly relation with foreign country, relations with foreign state, okay, public order, in the interest of public order, or for prevention or for preventing incitement to commission of crime. Incitement to commission of crime. This is one very important law in India, right? This is one very important law in India. Similarly, right, if you look into the IT Act, okay, if you look into the IT Act, as far as section 69 is concerned of IT Act, okay, again it is enabling surveillance, electronic surveillance. Okay, so what it says? It actually facilitates government and it facilitates government for what? Interception or monitoring interception or monitoring or it also facilitates government with decryption. Decryption, okay, of any information, okay, through any computer resource, Okay. So, in this, right, in this actually what the government is doing, in this what actually the legal provision is, that there can be electronic surveillance, right, there can be electronic surveillance. And again this electronic surveillance can be, if it is needed for in the interest of sovereignty of India, integrity of India, defense of India, security of the state, friendly relations with foreign state, public order, and prevention, investigation of any cognizable offense. Okay, any cognizable offense. Okay. So, two things are there in this Telegraph Act. In this Telegraph Act, the government has been given the power to intercept message or class of message, and in section 69 of IT Act, through legal provision, government has been facilitated for interception, monitoring and decryption of any information through any computer resource if it is in interest of unity of the country, integrity of the country, sovereignty of the country, defense of the country, then public order, then for prevention and investigation of crime or offences, then this can be there. So, section 69 is there. Now, the question arises, as far as our country is concerned, in India we have fundamental rights under part 3 of Indian Constitution, and one of the most important right is right to life and personal liberty, and Supreme Court has given very liberal interpretation to the word personal liberty. Okay. Supreme Court has gone to the extent that the word life in Article 21 does not mean animal like existence, that anyhow you are alive, but it includes all dimensions which guarantees a meaningful, dignified life to the people. So, life in the word, life as a word in Article 21 is not just anyhow animal like existence, but the life include all facets and dimension with which an individual can lead a meaningful and dignified life, and very liberal interpretation Supreme Court has given even to personal liberty. And I hope you know well that Supreme Court has declared, even though this is not explicitly mentioned in our constitution anywhere, that right to privacy is a fundamental right. Okay? So, right to privacy is a fundamental right. Now, in this scenario, in this kind of scenario, what is very important? Two things. This is a question of, moral, constitutional, ethical dilemma, and you need to understand. On one side is a state, and on other side of the line is citizens. Okay. Now, states' responsibilities to protect citizenry. Okay. State's responsibilities to protect citizenry, and then a state has a very, very important responsibility, related with national security, So, on one side is a state's responsibilities to protect citizenry and particularly related with national security. On other side is citizens' rights and particularly right to privacy and other personal liberties. Okay. Now, just try to understand this. Where is the dilemma? Right? Where is the dilemma? Dilemma is, the very, very conflicting thing is that if we want a state to protect us, then state has to definitely discharge its responsibility related with national security, and if it has to discharge efficiently, effectively its responsibilities related with national security, then in an attempt to do so, it will be taking some action it will be performing some action which may infringe, the right to privacy and sometimes right to personal liberties. The state may say, you cannot enter this building. State may say, that your phone can be put on surveillance. Okay. Now in this regard, what I would like you to remember, right, that for effective discharge of this responsibility, a state has to make intrusion, right? A state has to make intrusion, in personal liberties or rights related to privacy well protected for citizens. And we expect also, right? We expect also that citizens should also have willingness, must have willingness to sacrifice some liberty so that the state can discharge its responsibility effectively related with national security. But having said this, right, the matter should purely relate with national security. If there is, if there is immediate and big threat to national security, then only, then only what will happen? Some intrusion, some encroachment can be justified. And if in real and practical sense there is no threat to national security and then there is intrusion, then it is a big threat to the democracy of the country. You need to have a very clear understanding in this regard. Because what is happening in this country, that people in the name of national security are, getting misguided. We need to have this awareness that yes, if there is an immediate and big threat, real threat to the national security, then some encroachment, some infringement, some intrusion with the law which is supportive. Okay. How can it be that someone, I do not know whether there is a truth in this allegation, later only with proper investigation, not only in India but in other countries of the world we will learn, and it will be premature to conclude anything. But if at all, how can there be a threat to security of the country if Chief Justice of India, former Chief Justice, somebody who is minister, somebody who is sitting in opposition, how can you encroach their right to privacy and personal liberty in the name of a state's responsibilities related with national security, and then misinterpreting provisions of the law to give you such powers, whosoever it may be. Are you getting it? So, this intrusion, right, this intrusion. Now, related to this is the judgment, of Honorable Supreme Court of India, right, Honorable Supreme Court of India in this famous, right, Puttaswamy case, and I would just like you all to have this awareness what Honorable Supreme Court of India has said, right, what Honorable Supreme Court of India has said, and very correctly it has said, right, very correctly it has said that very correctly it has said, Honorable Supreme Court of India has said. Okay, that what Supreme Court has said in Puttaswamy case. So, Puttaswamy, and you need to have this understanding, Puttaswamy, he was one of the judge, he himself decided to go to Supreme Court. So, Justice Puttaswamy, Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India. The judgment was pronounced in the year 2017, and this relates with right to privacy, okay, which is intrinsic part of right to life and personal liberty under Article 21 of the Constitution. The case relates with, what is the case? What case relates with? Case relates with right to privacy, right to privacy, and this right to privacy as intrinsic part of right to life and personal liberty under Article 21, that is right to life and personal liberty. Okay. Now, what Supreme Court said in this case, that right to privacy can be restricted by the state, right to privacy can be restricted by a state, okay, but state's action will have to pass each of the three tests, will have to pass each of three tests. Okay. So, three tests, then only the state action can pass. Okay. What are those tests? Legitimate mandate or legislative mandate. First test is legislative mandate. So, there is a law, well spelled out, well defined law, using the law if the state is restricting the right to privacy. So, first test is, first test relates with legislative mandate. Second test is, second test is legitimate state purpose, legitimate state purpose, state purpose. Okay. So, legitimate state purpose, it has been used in the interest of the state, not in the interest of any particular political party or particular leader or particular individual or particular institution. Legitimate state purpose, second test. And third test, right, third test which Puttaswamy judgment has said is it must be proportionate. Okay. It must be proportionate. Okay. So, if restriction is there, it must be proportionate. What is the meaning? What is the meaning? That, the threat is big. There is no other way to combat the threat, to know about the plan, and then you can put the phone under surveillance, you can intercept messages, you can restrict the right to privacy of that suspect if you have adequate reliable information that the individual is indulged in such activities which is putting a great threat to the security of the country, integrity of the country, and you have no other way, to extract the information on the basis of which such things can be prevented, then only you can restrict. So, it must be proportionate. It must be proportionate. Now, right now, let me tell you that tomorrow, if there is an inquiry to the allegation which has been made by The Wire and other sections of media about 40 journalists, some opposition leaders, some social activists, and even the 2 union ministers whose phone has been put on surveillance using a spyware like that of Pegasus, then let me just give my comment. Can such action of the state which is deriving these people of their right to privacy and personal liberty can pass the 3 tests? So, I will say the first test itself it will not pass. Technically, you need to understand why, right? Technically, as far as Telegraph Act is concerned, Telegraph Act is giving power to the state for interception. And there is a world of sea difference between interception and surveillance through Pegasus. It is not interception. What Pegasus is doing, once it is infecting the device, जितना मैसेज हो रहा है, जितना फोटो है, डेटा है डिवाइस में, जितना कम्युनिकेशन है, क्या बात हो रहा है, microphone of the device is being used to record the conversation and unauthorized transfer of that to the server. So, this is not interception. It is much beyond that, and neither under Telegraph Act section 5(2) nor under IT Act section 69 there can be state action. Now, this is a larger issue. Forget who is on the other side, and this is why people from government, neither they are making any explicit comment, because they know that now the legality of the issue. Okay. So, first is legislative mandate, whether there is a supportive law for that or not. Supportive law for that or not. And I feel by learning the basics of what Pegasus can do as a spyware, as a stalkerware, as a malware, I feel that if Pegasus is being used for any person by government, it cannot withstand the test of legislative mandate. In India, as on date, legislative mandate is only for interception. Okay. Even in IT Act, monitoring can be there, decryption can be there, interception can be there. Okay. But the kind of surveillance, the gross intrusion into the privacy, gross intrusion, I don't think there is a legislative mandate, for it. So, I feel that if, I don't know, this can only come into the forefront after proper investigation, but legislative mandate. Now, this is a political issue, legitimate state purpose. Okay. So, I don't think even it can pass this test. Okay. Let us suppose that opposition leader, 3 opposition leader, who are they? I don't know. But if they are in the active politics, if they are contesting elections, if they are participating in legislative, legislative procedures, debates and discussion, they are in public life, how will, if at all it has happened, government justify that they are the threat to the national security, big threat to the national security of the country, and they thought of, right, they thought of extracting information by putting their cell phone under surveillance, by using a spyware like that of, Pegasus. Now, definitely it will be very difficult. It may be of interest for a political party, but how it is in the interest of integrity and sovereignty or friendly relation with other countries or public order, that will be a very difficult thing for government tomorrow. If it is true that this software, we are also one of the client, if India is also one of the client, okay. And second is must be proportionate, okay, must be proportionate. Now, when it comes to must be proportionate, again, it will not pass this test which was suggested by Honorable Supreme Court in Puttaswamy. Why it will not pass this test, if at all it is true? For a while I am assuming it is true. Why it will not pass this test? That the people whose numbers as per media expose has been put on surveillance, they are the people in public life. You can very easily gather information about their, conduct, actions through other means. Such type of gross intrusion into their rights is not required, okay, is not required. So, it will be very difficult, right, it will be very so you need to have this understanding, okay, if you need to have this understanding, okay. So, number 1, number 2, right, number 2, similar judgment was given by Supreme Court even in the Aadhaar case, okay, similar judgment was given by the Supreme Court in the Aadhaar case, and in the Aadhaar case again Supreme Court said, right, in the Aadhaar case, right, Supreme Court said that in Aadhaar case, what Supreme Court said, let me just tell you. Supreme Court said privacy cannot be impunged, cannot be impunged. Privacy cannot be impugned. Intruded without just, fair and reasonable law. Reasonable law. And Supreme Court said that any such action, any such action there must, action of government, any such action of government must pass proportionality test. Any action of a state must pass proportionality test. Proportionality test. And 4 aspects of proportionality tests. And which are those aspects? Number 1, legitimate goal. Number 2, rational connection. By and large same thing in different words. Number 3, necessity. Number 3, necessity. And number 4, balancing. Right. So, what we have to balance? I have already told you, balance between the citizens' right to privacy and personal liberty and states' duties and responsibilities related with national security. So, there must be a balance. Okay. And if it is necessary in the interest of national security, for the purpose of national security, then only, and there must be a rational connection, and there is a very legitimate goal to achieve through such intrusion. Okay, through such intrusion. Have you understood? Right? Have you understood? So, this is something which you need to understand about Pegasus. And now, my final words related with this issue, right? Related with this issue. See, what is required? What is required? That, that government, there must be a proper debate inside the parliament. Okay. And nowadays, what is the big problem? That even the debates which are happening on the floor of the 2 houses of parliament, they are not very authentic. Why? Why I am saying this? Because recently, recently we heard a minister making a statement on the floor of the house that no person died because of shortage of oxygen during the second wave of COVID in India. And this statement was made by the minister on the floor of the house on the basis that no state has reported any deaths. Come on, common people have seen what all happened in this country in the month of April, May, June. It's very fresh in the memories of the people. They have seen, they have experienced themselves what was the state of affair related to bed availability in the hospital, availability of essential medicine for treatment for those who got infected with COVID, number of deaths. Why we want to get into the process through which such deaths are reported? Okay, process through which such deaths are reported. How can you say also? If it would have been said by something, if it would have been said for something else. But this is something which is very fresh in the memory of the people of this country, and only thing what people of this country can understand through that statement that any kind of twist and maneuvering can be given by politicians even now when they are speaking inside the floor of the House. Earlier this was done when they were addressing rallies, when they were addressing public gathering, when they were sitting in TV channel debates and discussions. Now very sorry state of affair that such twist and maneuvering can even be given when they are participating in the debate inside the parliament. And this is a very, very sorry state of affair for our democracy. So, a very genuine debate should be there on this issue. Opposition should allow debate. During the debate, they should ask pinching and piercing questions, give opportunity to government to make statements, and if there is a need, based on that discussion, debate, if the reply of government is not satisfactory, they are not convinced, genuinely if they are not convinced, then there should be an inquiry, probe. But one thing for sure, right, one thing for sure, one conclusion I can make, that if, right, if 300 plus phones have been kept on, right, surveillance through use of Pegasus kind of spyware, and if this includes people who are inside parliament, people who are in public life, people who are holding key posts in institutions, people who are in journalism, okay, then there is, right, then there is a very big threat to the national security of the country. And if, right, and if government has abused its position, control over, exchequer to spy the political opponents and other people, then the democracy is at threat. Okay. So, either way, the possibility of either the national security is under real threat is there, or democracy in this country is under threat. Only two conclusions can be made through this whole controversy. If, right, if there is merit in the exposure which has been done by The Wire and other sections of media. Okay. So, this is all you need to know about the Pegasus. But my, final takeaway, your focus should be on what? Your focus should be on legal issues, constitutional issues. If I have to make the conclusion, I said, if there is merit in the allegation, if there is merit in the allegation, then, right, then, and if 300 people, and these are the people who are in public life, who are in, inside parliament, who are in, they are the key people in journalism, and if truly any action, inaction, conduct of such people is questionable from national security point of view, then there is a real threat to the national security. But if, right, but if the, such Pegasus kind of a spyware has been used by putting such a heavy burden on the exchequer of the government, by grossly abusing the authority which is vested in you as you got voted to power to settle the political score with your opponents, then there is a real threat to the democracy. So, this whole Pegasus, right, controversy is coming to this final conclusion: proper investigation and proper action taken after investigation, because only two things is there, either there is a great threat to the national security or there is a real threat to the democracy of the country. Either way, these are the only two things which can be concluded even before investigation, that there is a real threat to the national security or there is some real threat to the democracy in this country. And this is the why there should be a very genuine, authentic, matured debate in the parliament. Government must make statements. Opposition must behave like a responsible opposition. Let opposition ask piercing question. They must force government to give answer, satisfying answer to all their questions related with the controversy. And if need arises, there must be impartial probe, fair probe, the way, right, the way some of the governments in other countries of the world have taken this issue seriously. This is also what is required in our country, which is claiming before the world as champion of democracy. We are telling the world that we have, very lively, very vibrant and very functional democracy. Okay. So, this is all about Pegasus controversy. Okay. Again, Gauri Nanda is asking, can you explain the 4 aspects of proposal? One is legitimate goal. So, any action of the state to intrude the privacy of some of its citizens must have legitimate goal, legal, backed goal. Okay. Rational connection. Okay. So, something state is having, okay, something state is having, some input is having, some information is having, on the basis of which they feel that now final thing can come out only when the privacy can be intruded. Okay. Then necessity, meaning there is no other way left out, and then there is balancing, balance between, right, balance between what? One side, balance between one side is what? The state's responsibility for national security, and other side is the citizens, right, other side is the citizens rights related to privacy and personal liberty. Okay. So, this is there. I do not know, Princey is saying, sir, please answer my question. I can't see your question. Princey, where is the question? What do you think quality of democracy has? I do not want to get into the politics of it. Okay. Do you think quality of democracy has been degraded after 2014 in India? It will be very political to say, okay, but in the last couple of decades in India, we are seeing, right, some erosion in the democratic ethos and values. Okay. Some erosion we are seeing, and sometimes the erosion is very fast. Okay. But for the last 2 decades, we have seen erosion in the state of democracy in this country for sure. The kind of relationship which is there between, opposition and treasury, the less, qualitative debates are not happening in the parliament. There is arrogance of numbers both in opposition as well as, in treasury, and more in treasury. Okay. So, that is there. So, that is why I do not want to make political comment. Let us keep ourselves. Okay. Please answer my question also, Ritika. What is your question, Ritika? Before instead of more than one institution of a country purchasing Pegasus, cannot these institutions share the data among themselves after one of them have purchased it from NSO? There is, autonomy as far as institutions are concerned. If you ask them to work, collaborate, number one, and number two, right, number two, you need to have this understanding that they are, selling a pack through which 10 or 11 phones can be put, or device can be put on surveillance. Okay. So, if 2 institutions require, why you know, there is a central procurement, let the institution procure, then accountability. That is probably the reason why it's there. Okay. Gaurav Yadav is saying, in Aadhaar case, Supreme Court held that Aadhaar Act is valid as a part of money bill. Yes, Supreme Court, right? Supreme Court in Aadhaar case, right, said, you know, that's a different story that we will see. In Supreme Court in Aadhaar case, you know, has said that this bill which has been passed by Parliament as money bill is legitimate, and it said that since this unique identification is being created so that citizen can avail government subsidy, benefit and services, and such, you know, expenditure which is going to be done by the government will put a burden on the exchequer. It will put a burden on the exchequer of the government, and it is to be charged upon the consolidated fund of India, India. Okay. So, this is how it said that it's a money bill. And again, I would like to say that some of the judgment in recent past of Supreme Court has surprised many experts, including me. Okay, as a student of political science, as a student of law, I am equally surprised with some of the judgments which have been given by Honorable Supreme Court in recent past, okay, including the one where it said that Aadhaar bill which was passed, now it's an act, Aadhaar Act which was passed by the Parliament in the form of money bill, right, is a money bill. Okay. So, that is right, that is something which was surprising. And now what is a concern for us, that I hope you know that the present honorable member of Rajya Sabha, which nominated member of Rajya Sabha earlier was, right, earlier was the Chief Justice of India, and when he was the senior most judge, just below Chief Justice of India, we saw him coming in public along with 3 other senior colleagues of Supreme Court, and he saying, right, that all is not well with the functioning of Supreme Court, and cases which can have far-reaching consequential impact on country as a whole are being given to benches in a selective manner. But then what we saw that one allegation against him by one of the female employee of Supreme Court, and thereafter we saw that he was the part of the bench which pronounced many judgments, and definitely some of those judgments are in the category of very surprising judgments. Okay, so, and this is why this Pegasus issue is even, you know, more serious than what otherwise it is. Okay, because I told you, no, that one of the media has brought in public domain that 11 phone numbers which is on the, you know, which is in the data bank of that server is with, you know, related with the female employee and her near ones and dear ones who put an allegation to Chief Justice of India about sexual harassment. Okay, so that is there. Okay, that is there. So you should be, you know, you should be knowing the whole story, and you should be equipped to write any kind of answer either in the main exam or in the prelims related with Pegasus. Now the next.